What does a supply chain advantage look like? Start with 12,000 experienced teammates. Add the precision of 20 modern distribution centers, the reach of one of the nation's largest fleets, merchandising solutions that drive sales, and custom technology applications that make doing business easy. Together, it's how we enable you to buy better, sell smarter, and profit more. McLean, your supply chain advantage in action.
Hi, this is Steve Holtz for CSP TV, and welcome back to our coverage of the SIGMA annual meeting in Boston. And right now, I'm joined by Ken Doyle. He is the Executive Vice President of SIGMA, and this year he also happens to be celebrating both his 30th anniversary with the group, and he's being awarded the Distinguished Statesman Award by SIGMA. So, Ken, I want to congratulate you on that, and ask your thoughts on receiving that from the group.
I feel very honored to receive the Distinguished Statesman Award. It's not something that I ever thought I deserved. You know, basically I work here and I've always felt that was a great reward. SIGMA's a great organization and being here 30 years has just been great fun.
I think along with that longevity, the most remarkable thing about Ken is his ability to deal with a lot of bosses. This is a member-run association, and we're all bosses, and he's put up with innumerable board members and interacted with them, innumerable past presidents, and a lot of people that are very type A and think they know more about his business than he knows about his business. But his skill, his humility, he's kept the ship steady. And I have to say that if you've done it for 30 years, you got to be doing something right. So congratulations.
Let's talk a little bit about the past year. What were some of the highlights for 2010?
I think one of the things that we really focused on this past year were our educational programs. We did, I think, the best job that we've done in all my 30 years on putting together some great programs throughout the year.
And you got a new year coming up real soon. What are you expecting there?
We're trying to format small groups that will coalesce around certain subject matters, such as insurance or fuel buying or motor refueling, and try to create an environment where there's information exchange among the members of the group, not only at our meetings, but throughout the whole year.
I think every SIGMA president was very happy and fortunate to have Ken Doyle to lean on. He made us look good, and he made our jobs easier.
Let me ask you something that we're kind of watching in the news the last couple of years. With the major oil selling off their retail sites, I'm wondering what effect that has on your membership, and is it positive or negative?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that are happening. One is a lot of that sell-off is going to SIGMA members. A lot of that sell-off is going to companies that once they buy those major oil company assets, then really fit the SIGMA definition of a member, so they become SIGMA members. We're seeing a big change away from the retailers actually operating those retail outlets to being suppliers. So years ago, the major oil companies provided all the dealer support that went along with the dealer organization. But as they've come out of it, we see SIGMA members going in and starting to put together programs for their dealers. And one of the things SIGMA's doing is trying to help our members put together those dealer programs.
Mm-hmm. And how's that working out thus far? Actually,
it's been great. We have the majority of the SIGMA board of directors is now primarily wholesaler as opposed to primarily retailer, so it's got to be working pretty well.
Right.
Ken's wonderful dad, Mort, was the executive director of the Association of Executive Directors. And Kenny knew what he wanted to do. His dear wife Laura's in the business, his brother Steve's in the business, and Kenny, like so many of us who are second or third generation, you're carrying on that legacy.
It's kind of a family thing for you guys. Your dad did it, your wife and your son. How did that all come about? Just coincidence?
Well, there's somewhat of a story behind it. My father was an association executive, and I grew up, I had no idea what he did. You know, every once in a while he was off at a convention, but I really didn't understand what he did. When I graduated from college, it was kind of a surprise to everybody in the family. And my father looked at me and said, well, what are you going to do now? You're off the payroll. And I didn't really have a good idea. But he said, you ought to try association management. And he finally explained to me kind of what it was. And, you know, you throw some nice conventions, you get to have some nice parties, you run around with a lot of nice people. I said, I'd like to do that. Sure. So the next, I ended up starting my career in association management in the West Coast. I really love what I do, and the rest of the family's kind of followed along.
Ken, in particular, followed by his staff, has done a super job. He's been a credit to this organization. He's been a credit to all of the members. And he's been a credit to his family, who all love him and are here, as you know. Ken, I congratulate you.
Reporting for CSP TV in Boston, I'm Steve Holtz.
What does a supply chain advantage look like? Start with 12,000 experienced teammates. Add the precision of 20 modern distribution centers, the reach of one of the nation's largest fleets, merchandising solutions that drive sales, and custom technology applications that make doing business easy. Together, it's how we enable you to buy better, sell smarter, and profit more. McLean, your supply chain advantage in action.